Hey guys, it's Mandy here. So I asked on my Instagram who of you would be interested in hearing some of my book recommendations, and I was really surprised and happy to see that a lot of you would be interested. So here is my video for you guys on my top 5 non-fiction books for creatives, artists, musicians, anyone that's really creative or wants to be more creative in their lives and get some inspiration. These are definitely some of the books that have given me the inspiration to do a bit more in terms of like my music and art and any of my creative endeavors. So I hope that you enjoy it, and let's get started. Okay, so the first one is called The Rhodes Travelers, and it's not necessarily for creative people, but I do definitely think it's a really important book for anyone really. And it's a really great non-fiction book, one of my favorites, and it's written by a psychiatrist, and it's kind of a book about psychology, but I think it's really important because I know that a lot of creative people struggle with depression, anxiety, all of the things. So this book is really like insightful if you are new to mental disorders. Well, not really new, but if you're new to psychotherapy and maybe self-help and anything to do with like self-healing when it comes to psychiatric disorders, this was a book that really helped me. And it's cool because a lot of artists, like myself included, cannot afford a regular psychologist, so getting help on your own and being able to look after yourself and your own mental health is really important. So this is a really good book for that, and I hope that you guys like it and maybe read it. If not, that's cool too. Okay, so the second book I'm going to recommend is Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis. I'm sure a lot of you, especially musicians, would have read this one already, but if you haven't, you have to read it. So I am the biggest Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, and if you follow me on anything you will know that because I cover so many of their songs and I am very obsessed with them. But this book was, I read it when I was quite young actually, which you probably should not read if you're like under 16, actually maybe under 18, yeah. Because yeah, there's a lot of like drugs and nudity and graphic scenery in this book, but I really enjoyed how open and honest Anthony is about being an artist in this book, and I love how he takes you through his journey and his struggles, and you feel a little bit less crazy and you feel a little bit less like celebrities are these amazing things that you'll never become and you'll never be as good as your favorite musician, or they're just like perfect beings, because they're not. And it's really nice to read this and see the human in him and understand that, you know, it's a long journey to our successes sometimes, and I found it really inspirational. I also have so many like little saved areas along the way of just some of his beautiful poetic writing. I just think he's a great lyricist and a great author considering this book, and some of the quotes in here are just like I'll carry with me forever, and I even have one on my tattooed on my arm, so yeah. Cool. The next one is The Artist's Way, and I am currently actually busy with this one, but I have really enjoyed it, so I would definitely recommend it. A little side note, sorry, a little heads up is that this book does have a little bit of religion thrown in, sprinkled in here and there, and which is perfectly fine, but I am not a religious person, so I just kind of skip through those parts. I still think it's very helpful and very useful, and if you're religious, then like bonus for you, but I just personally skip through those areas. But really it's a book about finding your inner artist if you've lost it, or reigniting your passion for your art, whatever that may be. And it's basically a 6 or 7 week program. I'm on week 4. Ooh, wow. yeah, it's quite a long one. It's 12 weeks. I still have a way to go. Yeah, but it's actually been amazing, and you read most of the book before you start on the program, or like half of the book, and it's just, it gives you like journal prompts and exercises to do. It's kind of like your own therapy as well, so you kind of go through that process of breaking down what's not making you creative anymore, breaking down the demons that have stopped you from like that have blocked your creativity. Let me just have some tea. It basically, you go through your own psychotherapy through the 12 weeks. Obviously I haven't finished them, but that's what it's been so far. And if you're into journaling, it gives you some great journaling prompts and some good inspiration as well, and it encourages you to make a promise to yourself that you will be creative at least 2 hours a week, which is not that much when you think about it. And I managed to paint my skateboard in those 2 hours last week, which has been really awesome because I just struggle to actually sit down and force myself to be creative sometimes, so it's been a really good inspiration for that. Okay, this one might be a little bit personal to me, and I'm sorry if it is and you're not interested in this. Yeah. So I love Vincent van Gogh. And he's always been my favorite visual artist. So Van Gogh's Ear is a really good book that I enjoyed, and I've read a lot of books about Van Gogh, but this one really stood out to me because the author Bernadette Murphy, she writes like more kind of fiction style than a non-fiction style, and she keeps it very interesting the whole way through. Like a lot of books I read about Vincent van Gogh were very factual, and which is very helpful, sure, but it's not very interesting. So she kind of tells it like a story, and she kind of goes into the story like an investigator. And if you think about Van Gogh's story, it's kind of like a murder mystery slash suicide slash, you know, he's got a very interesting story and a very interesting life that a lot of artists can learn from. And she kind of goes into it with the eye of an investigator and looks at a story kind of non-biased and just goes through his struggles, and you also get to see all of his beautiful works. So I just found it really amazing and I loved it. So I hope that you like it too. If you're a fan of Vincent van Gogh, definitely check it out. Okay, so the last one is also Red Hot Chili Peppers related. I am sorry, I can't help myself. This one is quite a recent one. It's Fleas Autobiography, and it is called Acid for the Children. I actually read this one really quickly because it's really easy to read. As you can see, the type is quite big and he has tiny little chapters, which makes it so much easier to read for me. Like, it's sometimes the chapters are like 1 page, sometimes they're like half a page, and he doesn't tell a story like a normal person because he's Flea and he's strange, which is why I love him. But yeah, he tells it very interestingly, and unlike Anthony's autobiography, which we spoke about earlier, Scar Tissue, it's more about the band and his music and his musician life. Flea's one, this is a little bit of a spoiler, I hope that it's not, but it might be a little bit. It is about his childhood mostly, and it's really, really nice because it's nice to relate to someone, and someone creative, and someone that grew up an artist, and his struggles as well. And he also writes very poetically, and he has some beautiful quotes in here as well. So yeah, if you already read Anthony's book and maybe you want to read a little bit more, definitely recommend this one. Maybe not as tabloidy as Anthony's. You're not going to get any scandalous, you know, rumors about different celebrities like you do in Scar Tissue. It's very like authentic and about mainly his struggles, and he doesn't really bring other people into it a lot. But it is really deep and meaningful, and yeah, it made me feel all the feels. So yeah, I hope that you liked that list, and let me know if you want more content like this. Yeah, and then I'll make some more. I also want to do some fiction stuff. I love murder mysteries, so that'll be non-fiction obviously. and unsolved cases and all the things. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know, and I will keep doing some book reviews, and hopefully maybe we can do like a book club. I would like that a lot. But if you're not interested, you can just let me know and I will stop. Cool, bye guys.